Elon Musk. You hear that name, and what do you think of? Tesla, right? SpaceX, maybe even Neuralink. But what if I told you that the story behind all that success, well, it's a story of brutal struggle, of epic failures and incredible sacrifice. That's what we're getting into today, the real story.
All right, so let's just jump right in. This really sums it all up, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the legend, the stuff that makes the headlines. Tesla, SpaceX, all the game-changing ideas. But on the other side, the journey. And that's where it gets interesting. We're talking bullying, getting kicked out of his own company, rockets blowing up, and almost going bankrupt. That's the story we're digging into, the sheer pressure that created the success. So to really get who the entrepreneur is, we've got to go back, way back. You have to start with the kid, because his early life, man, it was this wild mix of just insane curiosity and some really, really tough times. And that combo, it shaped literally everything that was to come. Okay, so from the very beginning, Musk was kind of an outsider. While other kids were out playing, he was just devouring encyclopedias. We're talking by age 10. But he also went through some intense physical bullying. I mean, it was so bad, he actually ended up in the hospital. You add that to some complex family stuff after his parents' divorce, and what do you get? A kid who finds his escape, his solace, in learning and just imagining these incredible future worlds. And you can totally see the line from there to here, right? It built this incredibly resilient, independent mindset. He learned early on how to handle challenges alone, and it just fueled this fire to build a totally different future. And that mindset, it got put to the test, like right away. So he gets into this prestigious PhD program at Stanford and drops out after just 2 days. He jumps headfirst into Silicon Valley, and let me tell you, his first big venture taught him a lesson he would never, ever forget. It's all about that super thin line between massive success and crushing failure. So he co-founds this online payment company, X.com. You might know it by its later name, PayPal. But as the company got bigger, so did the drama inside. There were these huge power struggles. The board just did not see eye to eye with his vision. And then, in what has to be the most crushing professional blow you can imagine, they fired him as CEO of his own company. And get this, they did it while he was on his honeymoon. No way. But wait, here comes the paradox, the ultimate twist. Almost immediately after he gets kicked to the curb, eBay buys PayPal for $1.5 billion. Just think about that for a second. The incredible whiplash. 1 minute you're dealing with this humiliating professional failure. The next, you have a financial win so huge it basically gives you the runway to go chase your next, even crazier ideas. Now with all that cash, you'd think maybe he'd play it safe, right? Buy an island, retire? Nope, not even close. He went all in. I mean, he bet the entire farm on 2 unbelievably audacious, super high-risk ideas. And these ideas, they would push him and his new companies right to the edge. He took that PayPal money and sunk $100 million of his own cash into starting SpaceX. And the goal? It sounded like something straight out of a sci-fi novel. Make humanity a multiplanetary species. Colonize Mars. The entire aerospace industry, they literally laughed him out of the room. The experts said it was a joke, that it was doomed to fail. But he just wasn't fazed. He poured his own money right into that vision. And oh man, was it a brutal start. I mean, just look at this. The first Falcon 1 rocket, boom, failed. The second one, failed. The third one, failed. And in a pretty spectacular fireball. With every single one of those explosions, millions and millions of dollars, and a big piece of that dream just went up in smoke. They were so close to going bankrupt, it wasn't even funny.
And you have to remember the timing here. The pressure was, it's hard to even imagine. We're in 2008. The whole global economy is melting down. And at that exact moment, both of his companies are on the verge of total collapse at the exact same time. So while SpaceX is blowing up rockets, Tesla is stuck in its own production hell, just hemorrhaging cash. He was getting hit from all sides. It was just his period of absolutely relentless, soul-crushing pressure.
This quote right here, this is everything. It really gets you inside his head. Failure is an option here. For him, it's not just an option. It's more like a metric. It's a sign that you're actually innovating. If things aren't failing, you're just not pushing the envelope far enough. So failure isn't just okay, it's actually a necessary part of the process.
So this begs the question, right? The big one. Why? Why would anyone do this? Why risk every single penny? Why push yourself to the absolute brink of total ruin? Well, the answer, it has nothing to do with quarterly profits. It's not about the money. It's all about the sheer, insane audacity of the vision. You see, you can't really think of his companies as just companies. They're more like tools. They're vehicles built for one purpose, to tackle humanity's biggest, most pressing challenges. We're talking climate change, existential risk. They're what you'd call mission-driven ventures. The mission comes first, the profit is just a byproduct. And I mean, just take a second and look at the scale of these missions. It's breathtaking. With SpaceX, it's not about launching satellites. It's about making humanity multiplanetary, a backup plan in case something goes wrong here on Earth. With Tesla, it's not about selling cars. It's about speeding up the entire world's shift to sustainable energy. And with Neuralink, merging our brains with AI. Every single one of these is a massive piece of a much, much bigger puzzle for the future. Okay, so what's the takeaway from all this? From this journey of just constant crisis followed by breakthrough? Well, his story really gives us a kind of playbook, a blueprint really for anyone out there who is chasing a huge, audacious goal that everyone else says is impossible.
And if you boil it all down, it kind of looks like this, the Musk playbook. First, you got to have a vision that's way bigger than just making money. Second, you have to actually embrace failure as a tool, not something to be scared of. Third, a relentless, almost inhuman work ethic. Fourth, you got to be willing to take huge, calculated risks. And finally, number 5, sheer, stubborn persistence. You just don't give up.
And really, his whole story kind of forces us to ask ourselves a pretty tough question, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. What are you willing to endure for something you really, truly believe in? What level of pain and risk and sacrifice are you willing to go through to make something incredible happen? Because at the end of the day, this quote says it all. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. And I think that's the perfect place to leave it. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes it's not about the odds. It's about how important the mission is to you.